what is up, everybody? It's your brother Shamar with the Ancient Watchman, and I got a story. I got a story that it changed my life. It completely changed my entire existence. I'm in Las Vegas, as you guys can see. A beautiful view. It's a beautiful sunset. Yeah, I'm staying in one of the hotels in Vegas, in Las Vegas. Yeah. So this is why I'm here. This is part of the story that I would like to share with you guys. I got a call from my uncle that lives here, and he's like, "Hey, guess what? One of your uncles just passed away." And so I knew who that was because I live with my uncle, and so he calls me and be like, "Hey, we're gonna bury him on Monday, which is the 21st, right?" And then I'm like, "Bro, I gotta be there. I have to be there." Now, mind you, never in my entire life have I ever been to I would say like a burial, or I've never been to a funeral for that matter. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've seen stuff in videos in real life of what the criminal syndicates of Mexico do to the people. So I've seen but being able to see my uncle laying down in a box, in a box, and you see him there lifeless, that struck me very deeply at a spiritual level. It made me see life from a different point of view, and so that's what I'm here to share. And so it's like death, and so what is life? What is life? Life is just, what is it? A collection of memories that we live throughout our lives, whether it be in relationships, whether it be traveling, like I do. You guys know I love to travel. It's kind of my thing. I'm a wandering star, I'm just jumping from here to there, where the wind takes me, that's where I go. And wherever I go, and so wherever I go, there's something to do, there's people to talk to, there's statements to be made, people to be uplifted and encouraged and whatnot, and people to be brought healing in a broken world. You know what I'm saying? So it's there's always something to do, and so everywhere I go, there's always something. And so I came to Vegas to bury my uncle on Monday. And that was just a powerful experience that changed my life, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. And right now, I'm just still taking all the lessons and the messages that I got from all these, ceremony that took place in the burial of my uncle. So it's the question is what is life, And it's like King Solomon was talking about, I was saying that even King Solomon was saying that all is meaningless. You know what I'm saying? It's in the book of Ecclesiastes. When you guys read it, even King Solomon, the wisest of men, the wisest of kings, according to the Bible. Well, if he was the wisest of men, he must have known something better than the people that don't know any wisdom today, to say, oh, everything's vanity. Everything's vanity. Because at the end of the day, when my uncle died, they did a spiritual ceremony, and one of the ladies came. She had a long dress and head cover, and she had books on her hand, and she came up there to the podium and spoke to the people in Spanish, and she was saying okay, well, here it is, the brother. And so she was saying here lies such and such, you know, without life, without the spirit of life, lifeless, there in the coffin, you know. And then what did he take? Did he take his cars, his houses, his belongings? What did he take? We take nothing. We come in the world empty, and we're gonna go out empty as well. Because even if we amass, even if we're able to, you know, be billionaires and millionaires, you know, like you will take nothing with you. Everything stays here because everything is terrestrial, material, right? That's why they call it material possessions, because all this is part of the matter of this world. This matter is connected to this planet. It can never leave. It's trapped in here because it's matter. Material possessions, it's matter. And so she was making a point that, you know, we tend to live life in a fast-paced mode that we forget the little things. Family, friends, if you have them. Because even friendships today, you know, they're a little scarce nowadays. You know, there's no loyalty. People are stabbing each other in the back, and everybody's killing each other out just for the sake of money, for the sake of vanity, for the sake of material possessions. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the message that I learned, you know, these past 4 days that I've been on this journey to came to bury my uncle. And it struck me because, like, I remember we were at the cemetery, and yeah, there was we were about to grab a bunch of dirt, you know, in our fist, to be the first ones to like dump it into the 6 feet that he was already on the ground. And so I'm like, I grab my right hand and scoop out like a big amount of dirt, and I just stood with it, and I spoke to the earth. I'm like, you know, and I just spoke the words to just say thank you for my uncle and all the things that he helped me out with, and just, you know, let him go, and, you know, be grateful for his presence on this planet. And that's what I did. When I finished that little prayer, I just dumped the dirt off my hands, and, you know, I went on my way. And that was in itself right there very, very powerful, very, you know, just being able to see someone, you know, being able to see someone close that you spend life with, and then, you know, you knew them personally, you know, and then to be able to see them gone, it's another deal. So the point being is that appreciation for the little things, you know, which is, you know, because the little things are actually the big ones. Like when we talk about the little things, you know, family, friends, and first and foremost yourselves, right? Because we cannot give love to others unless we have loved ourselves first, which goes into what people call self-love. Everybody has to practice self-love, especially like men nowadays. You know, because there's like an attack on men by feminists, saying that men are worthless, saying that men are garbage, and this and that and third, and all this rhetoric. And so, you know, there's an attack on you know, the masculine side of the men of this world. You know, and you guys can see that everywhere. I mean, you guys have heard me post about Andrew Tate. If you guys haven't heard of him, maybe you guys should start YouTubing his name, Andrew Tate, Tate. And soon enough you'll find out what's really going on. Oh man, it's all part of the matrix. But yeah, so it was life-changing. And so I got a chance to meet a lot of my uncles and my aunties and their sons and their daughters and the extended family, and it was beautiful to just share among them, because I grew up with some of them, you know, and it was like it had been years since I seen them last, and after like so after 25 years, you know, I'm able to see them once again and be able to spend intimate time with them, eating, sharing memories, talking about the past, talking about when we were little and reminiscing of the past. You know what I'm saying? That's also in itself is healing. And so that's also part of one of the things that I always, refer to and speak about and make remarks about it when I talk about the inner child healing. Because the inner child healing is the key and the solution to the worlds of the planet, right? Because basically what you see around is adults, is basically children that are hurt within, right? You see hurt everywhere. There's hurt, there's pain, there's brokenness. So yeah, it made me realize about life and how life is very short. It's nothing more than a glimpse, right? It's just a glimpse. Life is short. Right? And so I speak about that because I used to spend time going back and forth, arguing about the Bible, arguing about political stance, arguing about this conspiracy or that conspiracy or this fact or the other fact. Because at the end of the day, the fact of the matter is that everybody's going to die. And at the end of the day, what are you going to spend your energy on? Right? What type of investment are you going to do with your energy that you have within? Is it going to be wasted in arguing, going back and forth in endless and meaningless debates and arguments that lead nowhere, right? When the solution has been there all along since times immemorial. But I just want to thank for everybody that came on. Thanks for watching. I just wanted to speak about my experience of what it was to come and bury my uncle and how it changed me and how it transformed me mentally in just these 3 days. Like I was able to see farther beyond than, dogmas and arguments and whatnot. Life is short and life has to be experienced individually, right? Every individual on this planet experiences life differently than yours, right? And this is what religion does. Religion, they want to include everybody into just one-mindedness, as if everybody's a robot, right? So, the simple life, again, experiences over, I don't know. I guess I speak from experience because this is how I live. You guys know me, I go back and forth. You guys find me here, over there, in a different state, from west to coast, north to south. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll be in Europe. Maybe one day I'll be in China. Maybe one day I'll be in Japan, in Korea. I don't know. Maybe I'll be in Dubai. I want to go check out Dubai. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like that. And so it's my life experience and it's changed me. It's made me see beyond like everything that we think we know is true or right. Because again, you experience your own spiritual experience. And this is why, I don't really, to me, talking about religion, I can talk about religion. We can talk about politics. We can talk about science. We can talk about quantum mechanics. We can talk about dark conspiracies. We can talk about the dark web and this and that and third. We can dive deep into the rabbit hole. You know what I'm saying? Oh, and that's the movie. You guys, I don't know if you guys seen Wakanda, but you guys gotta go see it. They give you a lot of clues about the Atlanteans, the ancient mythologies of the ancient Mayas, and so on and so forth. But you know what I'm saying? So, but at the end of the day, life is a life, it's a moment, a glimpse of an eye to be enjoyed, to be lived to the fullest. Obviously, there's always a balance, because if you claim to be a son of light, you claim to be a son of light or a children of light, then you guys know that you guys have a mission on this planet. This is why we're here, to help out the broken world, help them out to see beyond the material world, you know, everything that we have to attain. Like, oh, well, you gotta, and this is part of the system, you know, this is how men work. Men have to attain certain status. A man, in order to attract a woman, he has to be of a certain status. And so this is the battle of a man. This is the battle of every man on the planet. You know, and so it's like thriving and thriving. But I mean, it's always been like this, and you know, but now it's even more with a lot of the systems that are in place. Yeah, and you know, and there's like an attack on everybody. You know, you guys see it in the TV systems. You guys see it when people get canceled on YouTube, or like big channels that are speaking the truth, like Alex Jones and a lot of them cats out there. You know, I forgot, there was someone else that got canceled too. I forgot his name. It's like the old guy with gray hair. I forgot his name, but anyways, he spoke a lot about the cabal and the powers that be and whoever was in charge with the vaccinations and all that conspiracy came out, and now everything's coming out to the light. I mean, if you guys know, you guys watch the news, you know, everything's just coming out to the light, but there's dark forces at play on this planet. So, and that's the battle, you know, the battle between dark and light, and, you know, the forces, you know, what are the dark forces trying to do to the planet, to humanity? What are they trying to do? What is the end goal of the powers that be? The rulers of the planet, the rulers of the world. And when I talk about the rulers, I'm talking about the archons, the 7 rulers that were created by Yaldabaoth, right? The God of everybody. The God of the Muslims, the God of the Christians, the God of the Judeo-Christian religions, and the Judeo-Abrahamic religions as well. So yeah, it's just it's like a big deception that has taken the planet, and everybody's blindfolded, and we're literally like consumers. You know, everywhere we go, we consume, destroy, hurt humanity. Like you guys see the news out in Brazil. The things that are going on down in Brazil, there's an oppressive system that has taken advantage of the indigenous tribes in the Amazon, right? There's a deforestation of the Amazon, and you guys know what happens if that goes to 25 to 50% of deforestation of the Amazon. There's gonna be an unbalanced ecosystem all over the planet, right? And so there is an attack on the indigenous tribes, because the indigenous tribes, they claim to be the guardians of the Amazonian, of the entire Amazonian civilization, because that civilization was hidden away by Mother Nature herself. As a matter of fact, there's a new technology that came out and basically scanned the whole area of part of some of the Amazonian jungle and the Mayan jungles and stuff, and they were able to find hidden, buried temples buried under the dirt, under the trees, under the jungle, deep beneath, right there. And so, like I said, a lot of the indigenous tribes from the Amazon, they claim to be the guardians of that place. And so that's why there's like an oppression against them. They're killing them. They're basically like, you know, raping their women and killing their elders and their shamans. That thing's still happening today, right? But nobody wants to speak about it. Everybody wants to speak about sports and the World Cup and all this other bullshit, you know, that, you know, at the end of the day, you know, some of us, like, I like soccer, you know, I'm not gonna lie. I love soccer, you know, but and so you guys remember what happened in Rome. What happened in ancient Rome is that the masses were being distracted by these, that, and the third. These, that, and the third, right? Everybody was distracted We're all distracted with all these other things. The world is distracted with this all this other bullshit. Meanwhile, there's like real stuff, real issues going on in other places. In Brazil, you guys know there's like people that are marching and stuff. There's like massive, thousands upon thousands, shutting down like entire cities, protesting against the corruption of the governments, against the indigenous tribes, literally enslaving them, slaughtering them, raping them. And you guys know basically what the colonizers came here to do anyway. And that brings me to celebrate, which is Thanksgiving Day, which a lot of people do not know the root of that celebration that people, I guess, ignorantly celebrate without knowing the root of it, right? Because there was a massacre of 200 Pequot tribesmen, men and women and children and elderly, that were burned up by the villager, the people from the village, because they thought that the native Indians killed one of their own, when the indigenous tribes, the Native Americans, never killed nobody. And so they were accused falsely, and because they were accused falsely, they burned the whole village, and 200 Pequot tribesmen died. And so the next day, there was a proclamation by the governor saying that today is gonna and so the next day was basically a celebration to memorialize the genocide, quote unquote, the victory that they had against the indigenous tribes, because they were accused falsely and they didn't commit the murder that they were being accused of. So that's the story. But Thanksgiving Day, everybody, I give thanks every day as much as I can. I don't need to have a special day for me to, be thankful for, right? And the ironic thing about that is that people are thankful the previous night, and the next day they go out at 5 a.m. to lined up on a store to get an item, to buy a material possession, the material world that we're never gonna take with us. But again, I'm not saying don't have money, because you need money to survive on this planet. This is how the system was built, and the greed, and this is how Vegas was. This is how Vegas exists, because the casinos, and the money, people come in and they spend their money, and they lose it all, and then they do other things that they're not supposed to, and they lose their lives. Why? Because they lost it all. Why? Because of greed. It's all about greed. But we take nothing when we die. And so that's what I learned these past 2 days, 3 days. I learned that life is short, and that what really matters is your spiritual self. The mind, the spirit, the soul, your family. When we die, we don't never die. The flesh decays because the flesh is terrestrial, it's material. And like I said in the very beginning, everything that's material is connected to this planet. It stays. That's why when you guys die, your flesh it turns to dust. Your bones destroy. There's like an army of like microorganisms that began to eat you out, and you become dust. You get dust, and you go back to the earth. Everything that's material goes back to the earth. You know what I'm saying? So when we die, we never really die, because our spirits, our souls are eternal, right? We are just passing through on this planet, on this plane of existence, in this three-dimensional world. So we're just passing through. This is just an experience that we're here to learn. We're here to love ourselves, because as we love ourselves, then we can love others as well, right? And so healing in itself comes also by loving yourself, by learning how to cater to yourself, to your mind, to your spirit. Like me, I'm working on taking care of my body, eating better, eating right, I guess, drinking more water. I'm working on that as well. I'm working on going to bed around 10, even though sometimes it doesn't work out. But yeah, it's all part of the process, man. And to me, there's really no rules like, oh, at this age you're supposed to do, or at this other age this is what you're supposed to be doing, or what you're supposed to have and whatnot. And yeah, I'm not against it. It's good to have money, it's good to have possessions and whatnot, because it maybe can help you out do other things. Maybe you can focus more on your spiritual walk or your spiritual work or whatever, helping humanity heal, liberate the souls of mankind, or whatever spiritual work you're here to do. You guys know, but I'm speaking from experience. To me, I've always been like on the go. I'm always on the go. I'm not always stationary in one place. I don't know. I don't understand why. I don't understand why I'm like this. That I can never stay in one place. Yeah, I think it's part of like my personality. It's part of my frequency. Part of my coding. It's part of who I am. I think I've come to terms with that. I now understand it more than I did before, back in the day when I was little. Because when I was little, and that's one of the reasons maybe why I was able to dive deep into the spiritual world, that I was able to see entities, and I've seen just like a lot of stuff, bro, that you guys is gonna sound wild. So I'm not gonna speak on that right now, because I want that to be a special podcast that I would like to share some stories that I have. But yeah, I've always been like that, and it's in connection with like the calling that it's part of my calling, I would say, to go and say a word of encouragement, or ignite something, or ignite a movement, or say a statement and like make it stick. And back it up too with the truth, because we're not saying lie, we're not about lies, but I'm saying that you gotta be open to events and places and people that either might speak to you, or you have to speak to them about. You have to be led by the Spirit. You all know, and this is nothing like mystical or like It's just simply you being in connection with like the collective consciousness of the world. You'll see how it moves. It moves in cycles, and it moves people, and moves events, and it moves different cycles of the mind, and different singers rise up, and different speakers rise up, and different figures in the sports of arena and football and soccer and basketball, and new names come up. And so there's always cycles, and you begin to understand the collective consciousness. And so I went to a gathering to say goodbye to a person that I know, a good friend of mine, my boss. Tim is out there. I don't know if he's ever gonna listen to this, but yeah, they give him I think 5 months or so. So we went out over there to his house and gathered around. A lot of people came and whatnot. We were eating out, and so we're just mingling, talking, drinking, whatever, eating out, whatever. And so the conversation came, right? And so I asked, like, is there any way, like, maybe you and your brother and your best friend and myself, we can take a picture of the four of us? And he agrees, like, yeah, let's do it now. And so we went to get Tony, and then, Mike, and then, he was already in the couch. And so, we took a picture, and so I was the one that ignited that moment, because right after that, everybody started coming in to try to take pictures with, like, Tim, and everybody started, like, getting like emotional, bro. Everybody started getting emotional, and like it got to me, like, even though I don't really know them as much, because I've only worked for them for like a year or a year and a half or so, on and off. And so, but to like be there and experience, like, be able to experience their pain, because a week later is when my uncle basically died. And I had to experience the same when I came and buried my uncle on Monday here in Las Vegas. You know what I'm saying? So, and it was like now I understand what they were feeling. I understand why they were feeling the way they were feeling. But anyways, so the reason why I brought the story out, I wanted to share that, is because it's in connection to what we were talking about. That, like, there's times where you let to go in places that, like, you may not understand why you're there, but, like, eventually, if you're open to the spirit, you'll understand the mission. You'll understand what needs to be done, or whatever, But I'm not saying that that's the case for everything. You have to know, like, that's something that has to come innately inside of you, right? Intuitively. So I'm just sharing my experience. This is how I've experienced my events, my spiritual events, that wherever I go, like, there's always something that I do that ignites something. Like when I was at Tim's gathering, I told them that I wanted to take a picture with them. Right after me, everybody, like, they were watching how I was, just posing for the picture, with them, and then so everybody started getting interested in taking one picture with Tim, and everybody started coming in. Everybody started pouring in and coming in. I want a picture too. I want to, and so I stepped back because I was recording, but I was feeling like all the emotions, like all the deep emotions and the deep care and the deep love that they had for Tim, that they have for Tim and stuff, and that got to me. Like, there was tears that fell down my cheeks and stuff. But anyway, so yeah, so life is nothing more than a collection of memories. That's the only thing we take, the beautiful memories that we make while we live our lives, So yeah, I was saying that I got distracted for a minute, but I want to finish with this last thought, that lesson or teaching that I learned throughout all of these, that to make most of your time. That's basically what I got from it. That was the lesson and the teaching, and of course I've been doing some of that as well, because you guys notice I do not go back and forth with a lot of people as I used to, or try to prove my point, because at the end of the day it's pointless. Even if I bring out all the facts, even if I prove them wrong, which I do and whatnot, they're still gonna continue to do whatever they want to do and stuff. So it's like an endless cycles of energy wasted in, like, minute small things. What would you call it? Trivial matters, earthly matters. Like, to me, like, your God is better than my God, or your whatever, all that tribalism and between gods and the people and the chosen and the not chosen. It's like, it's all part of the same cycle of this distraction and destruction. So to me, it's like pointless. So I now focus more on my spiritual development, right? My spiritual growth, maturity, my maturity of the mind, of the soul, right? I would say that, and it's kind of like what even the Bible, your Bible says that how can the carnally minded man understand the spiritual matters, right? It's not. It's just like two opposites. So that's why nowadays I don't try to make, like prove my point, because at the end of the day, even if the point is proven, they're still gonna do whatever the thing that it is that they want to do. And that goes in the various levels of life, the governments of the world, military complexes and stuff, whatever. All of them they're all part of the same concept on this planet. Materialism, gaining money, gaining possessions at the backs and the sweat and the blood of others, right? The same way these country was taken way back in the day, which is so. All of it is it's just a distraction. Like the world is fighting. Russia against the United States against Russia, China against who knows who, Iran against who knows who. The Israelis or the so-called Jewish people against the Arabs and stuff. And it's like everybody's a mess. There's like a mess everywhere. And it's all pointless. Like people die, a lot of soldiers die for what? For nothing. At the end of the day, the governments that really control this planet, they're gonna do whatever the fuck they wanna do. Okay, they don't give a fuck about nobody's life. Unless they're gaining profits from you, then they care, but they care only to profit from humanity. And this is why I brought one of the brothers to speak about the law of the seas, which is how this world is governed in, I would say majority in its part. So, but yeah. But thanks for watching. Thanks for checking us out. Hope you guys were able to learn, maybe meditate, maybe ponder on life, maybe, I don't know, just, I used to, and it's crazy that I still see a lot of brothers that I used to be part of their cults, the Black Hebrew Israelites and the wannabe Jewish and Shemitic tribes and tribalism and Yahweh is my God and He is going to slay the other nations. We are the chosen one, but you guys are not. And it's all these little battles against who is better than who, and, who is the chosen and who is not, who is the pure bloodline and who's not. And it's like, even the book of Timothy speaks about, like, avoid meaningless genealogies, right? So this is why I don't subscribe to the whole tribalism idea of the 12 tribes. And when I said I don't subscribe, it doesn't mean that they don't exist. I'm saying that I don't subscribe to the whole dogmatic ideology around the 12 tribes. Because the 12 tribes were basically hijacked by false gods, fallen angels claiming to be gods and the creator, when they were not. And so this is why you find a lot of bloodshed and genocide in the Bible, because these entities feed off of the life of the human race. This is why there's wars, and this is why there's division. This is why there's religion against that other religion, Islam against the world, the jihad and all this other stuff, right? Because it's all about tribalism. It's all about division, creating the chaos and the division so that they can create the order. And so I signed out a long time ago from all those ideologies about the God of the Bible and the God's chosen people and the Jewish people and all that stuff. That to me is like, that's obsolete. To me, that ideology is obsolete. First and foremost, the creation story of the book of Genesis is not even the real creation story, right? It's not even the real creation story, as a matter of fact. It's incomplete. That alone right there tells you like the severity of the lies and the deception that the world is into today when it comes to based religion ideologies and train of thoughts. Because everybody thinks the same. Oh, the book of Genesis, yeah, man. In the beginning, and God created, and he said, let, and when you guys hear in the Bible, when it talks about the creation council, let us create man in our image, after our likeness, that alone right there is plural, without even going into the Hebrew. But a lot of people don't want to accept the facts. Right, that even in the very beginning, like when it says in the beginning, whatever, when you guys look into the Hebrew word right there, and it talks about the word God, you guys go look into the Hebrew, it goes into the word idol. The idol, right? Because a lot of these entities were nothing more than idols. They were gods in the sense that many humans saw them as gods because they were spirits. The ancient spirits that posed as gods, and now everybody claims to believe in this and that and third. So it's all divisions, So for me now, it's simplicity, It's like, live your life, do the best you can to treat your fellow human being, whether he is black, Hispanic, Chinese, yellow, he looks like an alien, he's missing a foot, he's missing an eye, oh, he looks weird, this and that and third. As long as the other person is not hurting another person, then there should be peace in the world. Right, but like we have been seeded these ideologies since the beginning of times, that these racial wars and divisions. This is why the gods exist, because it's humans that give the power to this whole concept of corruption, government corruption and stuff. You guys know what I'm talking about? You guys will understand. So yeah, so I've been meditating for the past 3 days since I buried my uncle about what am I gonna spend the rest of my life, what am I gonna spend my energy in, whatever remaining life I have on this planet, right? Like, what am I gonna do? So that's what I've been meditating on, and so that's one of the things that I've been working on. So maybe perhaps you guys won't see me as much online, on our YouTube channel, but I'll definitely come back later on and keep you guys posted on what's going on. I'll keep you guys in the loop, but I rather just yeah. But I'll be posting hints here and there on our YouTube channel. I'll be posting shorts. I'll be doing some shorts. I'll be still doing some podcasts here and there, but not as much. Like I said, there's like I told you guys. So I've been telling you guys, there's other things that I would like to focus more on, and that's what I'm gonna do. There's certain things, certain aspects, certain things that need to be done that I like to do and whatnot. And yeah, life is life is short, so we live it to the best of our ability to treat your fellow human with the best care you have or that you can, and try to emulate peace and harmony on this planet. Because by doing so, then we raise the vibration on this planet. And so by raising the vibration on this planet at a collective level, you guys, the whole system is going to have to shift. Like I'm telling you, and this is what they don't want. The powers that be, they don't want that, because they want a society that is dependent on the system, the matrix system. I call it the energy, what would you call it? Energy vacuum matrix system, right? Because it's an exploitation of the energetic output of the human race, individually and collectively, right? When you guys just think about, right? Think about how much time you guys spend at work. How much time you guys spend at work? What is it, 50 hours a week? Right? How much time you guys spend with your loved ones? How much time you guys spend devoting with your gifts? How much time you guys dedicate to discover your spiritual gifts? How much time you guys spend meditating, or how much time you guys spend, just understanding humanity and understanding their pain, understanding the pain of the human race, or things like that. Maybe it's like I feel it too deep. But I understand. I see people. I can read. And I sense pain. I sense a lot of stuff when I meet people. This is why I'm always a loner. Because there's like a lot of energy that I feel, and I can be social. I can completely socialize and be amongst people and stuff, but it comes to a point where I can just begin to feel everybody, like what they're worried about, what they're worried about, or what they're gonna do with their lives, or their relationship problems, and their sickness or diseases, or whatever other things that they're going through, or whatever. So I feel all of that, all of it, even from far away. So this is why I'm always like alone, just by myself. Everywhere I go, by myself, right? When I go hiking, but I love to spend time with my family as well. It's good to be back in their lives after like 10 years or so. So this is why I'm spending more time with them and getting to know their lives, because I haven't been there in their lives for 10 years or more. So it's like, it's also life changing as well. So what's life? How are we gonna live life? Are we gonna live life divided, fighting because my book is better than your book, or your book is better than mine, or what? And when you really like step back and look at the whole thing, it's just meaningless. Like, so what? So what if it's different? So what if someone thinks different than you, right? So what? What, you're gonna die? The world's gonna crumble down if other people do not subscribe to your ideology or to your train of thought, or people don't think the same way you do? Like, believe me, like, people do not think the same way I do. Because if they did, they'll probably go crazy, okay? Because my mind is like, bro, everywhere, okay? This is why, like within the zodiac, understanding, the Geminis are like, they're called like brain scattered. But it's not that we're brain scattered, it's that our minds are basically traversing 2 dimensions at the same time. Like, we're on this planet, on this plane of existence right here, right now. But our minds are like beyond this plane of existence. Like, we're thinking about wormholes, we're thinking about, ways on how to like navigate the system of this planet. Like the energetic grid, right? And the energies that exist on the ethereal realms, the planes that you guys do not see. The spiritual world, you guys call it. Well, that world is like full of life. You know what I'm saying? So our minds are like, whoop. So yeah, I go with the wind, kind of like what the scriptures talks about, like, the spirit, the spiritual man goeth, it was guided by the wind, or something like that. I'll post the scripture on the screen so you guys can read it. I'm misquoting, so do not quote me, but yeah, it kind of says similar to that. But yeah, with that, I think I'm gonna sign out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for checking us out. Don't forget to check us out on TikTok at Ancient Watchmen. I'll be doing reactions. I'll be posting esoteric knowledge over there, news that people don't want to see, and stuff that people don't want to hear, crazy knowledge, forbidden understanding and whatnot, forbidden knowledge and forbidden history. And so they got rid of my TikTok account because they decided that I was spreading hateful ideologies. Oh my gosh. You know, even though I was helping the community bring out the other. Peace out. Shut